does have enough light for that.
Take your field somewhere else.
Da, 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 da.
Check it out. Okay, stand over here.
Circumstances, we would invite Oscar and his wife up, but we don't have much room up here. But I would like, would you like them to come up? Oscar, would you and Sybil come up?
No, I got a full thing. No, I got Randy getting more on. Crazy white woman.
Oscar's wife's name is Sybil. In case,
Sybil what?
the other night we had a little deal for Oscar down at one of the local bars. But when Oscar came in, he told me, he says, Bill, says, if I had known that my retirement would have thrown Peltz and May in such a panic, he said, I would have reconsidered. We put together a short program tonight, probably lasts about 3 minutes. Oscar's the type guy that doesn't, he's shy, and nothing ever happens to Oscar, and there's not really any stories out there to tell about. What I'd like to do is to start off and give a little background on Oscar. Some of the people here don't really know Oscar, because he's been around a long time. Some of the younger people. To give you a little background, Oscar came to work at Uniroyal, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Oscar, in 1964. And he worked contract. He worked in shipping. Is that right? And I think in 1965 or 66 he came to work for Uniroyal as an operator in Flex Zone in the reducer section. Then he transferred over to the OT plant in 1969. In 72, he became a shift supervisor. And then he worked. But he remained in Area 1, worked as a supervisor until he retired about a week ago. Some of the physical characteristics of Oscar. Oscar's 61 years old. He has brown eyes and used to have brown hair, but now it's a little bit gray. He weighs 100. 190 pounds. His height is 5 foot. No, I probably shouldn't reveal that. Let's put it this way. He's an inch taller than Carl. And he's an inch shorter than Charlie Pope. And he's the same height as Pee Wee Honey. Where's Charlie?
2 inches for you. 2 inches between him and Carl. Carlson's only 2 inches measured. That much.
That argument's been going on about 20 years. No. That depends on what shoes they're wearing.
At least we talk. Some people don't have anything.
I've got a couple of stories, and then I'm going to turn it over to the other people. Dennis was telling me about this, and he said that Oscar's father, back in the teens or 1920s, I believe, was an Olympic champion. I don't know what in, but anyway, he won a gold medal. And when he died, he left the gold medal to Oscar, and he was so proud of it that he had it bronze. The other story I have, Oscar had always told me that there were so many experiences in the Flexone plant, at Area 1 really, OT, Flexone and all that. And when he retired, he would like to write his memoirs. And when we started looking around for a gift, Dennis suggested we go to an Italian magazine, and see if there might be something that we could buy. So we thought we would buy a word processor. So we ordered it, had to send it over to Rome, the purchase order. And it came back, and we had it. This is a word processor, and this is the training manual. Have we gone over 3 minutes yet? Next up will be Dennis, and he has a couple of stories to tell about Oscar. Dennis.
Oscar and I used to relieve each other on shifts. Oscar had a real good buddy. He used to have George position named Joe Capone. Joe come down when we was making relief one day, and he said, Oscar, I got a problem. I said, what's that, Joe? He said, I got a problem with the people in the back. He said, everybody back there think I'm a son of a bitch. I said, well, I can't help you, Joe. He said, why not? He said, because I think you are too. Oscar, I know. I was there. We know how religious you are and how you like to dress up and go to church on Sunday. So, being you're retired, you have a lot more time to go to church and all. So we wanted to get you something nice to wear. We got a hold of the Gramercy Playboy, red suspenders in the back. We're asking to go out and get you something real nice. So you must have one of them big plates in the back. Mom, just collection of ties. You don't find these just at any store. Well, yeah, he kept one. But he's going to give it back to you. Yeah, we know you like to go to Las Vegas, probably. And so we know that he's going to be at home a lot, and you know it's going to be hard at times. We thought about you too. And one last item. There's an unusual incident was wrote on 12/7 of 79. And I'm going to read it. The occurrence was Oscar fell in the ditch back of Hydrazine unit with his bike. You remember that? The immediate action taken was they removed the supervisor from the mud and the water. The personal injury was one personal pride and one muddy supervisor. The recommendation was an 8-hour course on riding bikes in the plant area. And the investigation summary was the Italians claim they can always ride their bikes in the ditches to stay out of traffic.
Next we have Terry Ritchie.
Vince did pretty good, huh? When I came to Utah, my first supervisor was Charles Hope. And then a few years later, I went over to Ostership. And first day I went home, I told my wife, I said, you know, they got a requirement here, all it's kind of unusual. So to be a supervisor, you got to be a pygmy. But I found out later that wasn't true. But I found out Oscar really cared about us in a lot of ways. A lot of ways he had a reputation of being pretty tough. I remember one time, this may just be hearsay, but I heard it through a lot of different people. Mr. Simon was in a plant one day making his tours. And Oscar, being concerned, figured he'd warn everybody. This is hearsay, huh, Oscar? Because Mr. Simon still got to sign one more paper. I heard he called over the VH2 unit. And he said, someone picked up the phone. He said, hey, the wolf's on the plant. And on the other phone was Mr. Simon. Mr. Simon said, hey, do you know who this is? And Oscar said, what, no? He said, this is the wolf. Then Oscar said, do you know who this is? And Mr. Simon said, no. And Oscar said, good. And he hung up. be true, but it's a story. And working on Oscar's ship, I was there for a couple of days, working through a couple of days, and we was talking to him dog. And Oscar had a reputation. He had a lot of pride by keeping people awake. He watched real close, and he caught several people kind of dozing off. So some of the guys got him to the side. He said, Terry, he said, do you talk when you sleep? I said, yeah, I talk when I sleep quite a bit. He said, that's one point you got going for you. He said, you're in good shape. And he said, do you move a lot in your sleep? I said, yes, I move pretty good amount. He said, well, all you got to do is learn how to tap your feet, and you're in good shape. He said, there's one other thing you're going to have to learn how to do. I said, what's that? He said, you have to carry 2 pairs of glasses with you. And I said, well, why? So they gave me a pair, and I don't think Oscar ever caught on, but... These were for dogs.
Terry.
And these are going to be donated to Oscar.
There was a bagger in the plant about 15 years ago that gave everybody nicknames. And as a matter of fact, he's the guy that gave Hobie the name Wolf. But, and I think Sharp Efferson was named Shooter, and there were some others. But in the case of Oscar, he called Oscar Scarona. So his nickname was Scarona. So y'all can call him that. Next up, let's see who we have here. Trudy. Get a little class up here now.
Well, believe it or not, we do work in accounting, and we do occasionally go out into the plant, if that'll help me if I try to transfer out there. And we do take physical inventory of equipment out there too, Mr. Solomon. Well, anyway, I had not been working at Uniroyal very long. It was in the early 80s, and I think it was in June. It was a very hot part of the year. Connecticut doesn't know that's our hot time of the year, so they send down a request to take inventory of physical equipment out in the plant. I don't know how, but Oscar got nominated to go out there with me. And maybe they thought 2 Dagos could do it better than one. But, so we had to inventory the boneyard. So we go out there and we're sweating, we got our hard hats on, and we walked down, and we had to walk all the way down there. So we get down there, we got our can of wasp spray, and I'm checking off equipment, and Oscar's hollering out equipment numbers, and all of a sudden I look down, I said, oh, snake! Oscar jumped about 10 feet. So in memory of our little incident, I want you to have this for you. Oh, no! Needless to say, I've never been down that way again. I don't think he has either.
That's about how big he said it was.
When Oscar came to work here in '64, he came in and worked with Jerry Grimion. I'm not sure if this story is back to that vintage, but
Well, that's what
huh? What's that?
Work with
Oh, what? You work hard.
You don't work with Grimion.
So
stories about Oscar. When we were working together, no, Oscar was working, I was watching. Back in the warehouse, Sybil was in the hospital, I think, one time, so my wife Nita says, why don't you have Oscar come over for dinner one evening? So, okay, that's fine. I'll fix something real good. So she's got a library of cookbooks, every cookbook you can imagine. So she got a good Italian cookbook out, and she found a recipe called garlic chicken. Remember the garlic chicken? So she fixed the garlic chicken. Boy, did this chicken have some garlic in it. So I was looking over there, and Oscar's eating, and tears are rolling down his cheeks. And looked at me and grinned. He said, Sarge, he says, this thing tastes enough like garlic to be proclaimed the national bird of Italy. I'm glad my wife wasn't able to make it. So this kind of stuff. That's another little story about Oscar. He was going over to Flex Zone, and all the boys back driving forklifts in the warehouse, and everybody else. He was really razzing them. He was moving up in this world, and he was going to go over to Flex Zone and make such good Flex Zone it's going to be white. Sure, it's just going to be so good. So he went over to Flex Zone, and I think we had a apparent setback or something, so back to the warehouse he came. So all of us said, oh boy, here we got it. We got it where we want it. So he came back, and his first thing he did, he sat up on a table there in the office, and we had one of these little ovens that you toasted bread in or warm lunches or what have you. And he had a pair of channel locks in his back pocket. And the channel locks got hung up in the little toaster oven. And every time he tried to get off the tables and his feet would touch the floor, I think he'd complete that circuit and he'd jump back. And nobody was helping him because they had him exactly where they wanted him. So, being on the safety task team, Oscar, and we're really concerned about safety now, we sure wouldn't want you to get shocked again. Next time you come to visit us, will you please wear these?
The other night, down at the local bar, Jackie Robertson told a little story about Oscar. I thought it'd be appropriate to let him come up and retell that because most of the people here tonight weren't there the other night. Where's Jackie?
Most of us that were there weren't there.
For a while.
Several of us there left early.
I left about 8, but I didn't get home till quarter to 11.
Did he steal another pair?
Bill, I'm not going to tell that story that I told the other night. I told one the other night about one of his vehicles. I'm going to tell you one tonight about one of mine that he was involved in. Back when we were working an 8-hour shift, working 311. We got off 311 one night, was going down to Bell River and spend the night at the camp to get up to go fishing the next morning. So we got off about 11 o'clock and went across the Sunshine Bridge, and naturally we had to stop at one of the little bars. So about 2:30 that morning, we sashayed out of the bar and proceeded on the Bell River. And just before we got to Grand Bar, my truck just quit. And I had just put a brand new fuel pump on it that morning. I said, Oscar, I can't figure out what's wrong with this thing, man. So we get out and we go to troubleshooting, and the mosquitoes, man, just eat you alive. So I say, hey, that's a brand new fuel pump. Let me check it. So I disconnected it. Oscar cranked the engine over and it wouldn't pump up drop. He said, what we gonna do, man? The mosquito, stay in the mosquito. I said, I don't know, Oscar. Not much at Grand Bar. any time of the day, and especially at 2 o'clock in the morning. I kept looking at that outboard motor tank in that boat. I said, man, there's got to be some way that we can run this truck off of that outboard motor tank. So, I said, Oscar, we figure to get on down the road. We ain't gonna fight you keep it much longer. So I got that outboard motor tank and set it up on the hood, disconnected the fuel line. I had a little piece of hose in my toolbox, hooked it up to the carburetor. I said, and but one thing, Oscar, somebody gonna have to pump that bulb. I really don't care about anybody else driving my truck. So if you can picture Oscar sitting on the hood of my truck at 2 o'clock in the morning, squeezing the bulb on the outboard motor tank. So we go on. In the meantime, going down the highway, I can hear him hollering, fussing at me. I said, what's the matter? He said, slow down, man. I said, what's the matter? He said, man, you can't hear these bugs hitting me in the head. So we get down to the camp, go on and go to bed. He said, oh, yeah. We passed every word so far is gospel truth. We passed by one of the barrooms in Bell River, and a drunk comes staggering out. And about that time we passed by, and Oscar just looks at him. The man just shook his head. We get on to the camp, and Oscar said, well, what we going to do, partner? You know of a parts store, and automotive parts store in Pier Park? We made it this far. So we going fishing. So the next morning, we get up. We go out to the truck, and Oscar gets ready to get up on the hood. You know, he got to squeeze that bulb. You know, tonight I was laying there thinking about that, and I got to think, I said, you know what? You really don't need anybody to squeeze that bulb off. Once you get it flowing, it's going to grab it. So I told Oscar, I said, Oscar, you don't need to get on the hood. He said, what? I said, man, you don't need to squeeze that bulb. I said, we're going to pump it a couple of times, and it's going to be all right. He said, I ain't believing you had me ride on the hood of that truck, and I didn't need to be. Anyway, we backed the boat down in the spillway with the outboard motor tank sitting on the hood. Everybody kind of staring at us. We drive the truck back up and park it, get the tank, go on fishing. Come back, take the tank out of the boat, hook it back up to the truck, pull the truck out, the boat out of the water. By that time, the gas tank's pretty low. We pulled into a service station in Bell at Pier Park with that gas tank sitting on the hood. The fellow on that service station kind of looked at the gas tank when he walked out. I told him, I said, fill that tank up. Man didn't say a word. He went over there and took the cap off and started filling it. He looked at that hose running down in through the grill. Finally couldn't stand it. He says, my friend, why you got your tank sitting up on the wood? I said, we're running that truck off of it. He said, huh? I said, we're running the truck off of the outboard motor tank. My fuel pump went out last night. Oh, he said, my friend, he said, that ain't gonna work. I said, we drove in here on it. He said, you mean your fuel pump don't work and you use that tank?
throw my fuel pump away. We get our gas and we start on back home. We get on the interstate. You can't imagine the people that pulled alongside of us and started blowing the horn at us. Like we couldn't see a big red gas tank. That's a true story there. Let me just say this. Oscar and I worked together for a long time. I guess we started together about 64, folks. I'm not 61 years old yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next year.
But Oscar's been a real good friend. He was a good supervisor. Being acquainted with him, he was a good father. And I believe you all know this.
Could I borrow your word processor a second? You need to make a note of that story. For your memoirs? Here. That was a super story. That's going to be hard to top. Is Ernie here?
No. We wouldn't let him come in.
Wouldn't let him come in.
I bought it.
Well, Ernie had a story, but I guess since he's not here, he won't be able to do it. But next up, we'll have the guy in the red.
Broke it.
Batters. But the guy in the red suspenders wants to come up now, and he's got a story to tell and also make a presentation of some gifts.
How you all? Better get my stuff right. There's a lot of guys on Oscar's shift, you know, might want to give him the finger. You know, we keep it at his level, but most of us like to give him a hand. Just to kind of make him feel at home.
Oh, yeah. Hope nobody would like to have one.
There ain't much more than one. I checked around, you know, when I was on ship, Oscar was talking about wine and cheese, you know. And he's a connoisseur of vintage wines. And it was always on ship, he talked about the cheese they made in France, made out of goat's milk. They put it in the caves, and they let the bats crap on it, you know. So we got him some of that.
I don't know if the cheese or the back grabbed you. Then I called around Baton Rouge, talked to the guys on the ship and everything.
Would
You know,
anybody like to have a bite?
and found out what kind of wine he liked, you know. And they said something like this, Maison Drouot, made in 1820 or 1920 or MD 2020. Don't drink it all, just sip it a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Don't need a corkscrew.
Sybil, remember the time Oscar took you to what, the Blue Hawaiian? The Blue Hawaiian? You sat down, got ready to eat. They brought out the vegetable tray. Oscar tried to dip. How is it? He said, don't eat the dip. 10 seconds later, the busboy came up and lit it. We have a little Italian chips in dip. You know, vegetables wouldn't have packaged too good. Little Italian chips in dip. You can open it.
Anybody ever try to turn on?
Is it good?
Look at y'all, not supposed to. Woo! That's some tough stuff.
Okay, and we received a little letter today, Dr. Oscar. Oscar Corona. If the rumor I hear is true, you're winding down an illustrious career at Geisman. I don't know what he means by that. My congratulations on a much-deserved retirement. I know you have taught me several important lessons through the years we worked together. I'll remember them always, especially the lesson not eating the dip in a Polynesian restaurant. Best wishes and good luck, Joe Gatto.
It wasn't on purpose stationary, was it?
Okay, Oscar said he might do a little traveling, you know, while he's retired, and we decided we'd get him a little travel kit. So here it is. It's a kit. He likes to grow himself pretty good. A little imported Italian hair tonic. Olive oil. When he's on the beach sunning himself, a little suntan lotion. And you shake it up good, he spreads it on himself, the little bits and pieces, you know. He'll never be lonely, the flies will join him, you know. You know, and some of y'all like Brute, some like Musk, you know, but Oscar's is garlic. I'm the on the order.
You ain't know that.
Nothing but the best. A little talcum powder. A little bubble bath. get the suspenders.
Did you tie a good tie then?
Oh, you seen that knot on that just now, boy? Not on nobody else, no. I'll get you after a while. You can tell he's Italian the way he tied a tie. Okay, all your good friends and all pitched in, and we brought you a little gift for you and Sybil. You enjoy, and I'll walk out there and present it to you. We checked with Sybil. We made sure you didn't have one, you know. Figured you could use a good watch. Italian watch.
I got a lot of boxes. You want me to tell him? You heard what he said? No. I ain't gonna tell you.
I thought you could read, Diego. Upside down. Nope, there's right side up.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
The Italian watch is a VCR.
What?
Can you open it up?
I can handle a rattlesnake, I guess.
From what I hear, you didn't handle it too good. It's running.
I had a good helper. She said, you got a rattlesnake. I said, get it. She said, it ain't on the list. It ain't on the list. Wait.
Scared the what out of you?
But we go too far with this.
Microphone.
This thing come out the front office. Then.
They're gonna turn you in.
The camera was off.
They're gonna turn you in for the reward.
I took the bag off.
How you think you're gonna get the $1,000 back?
Unless anybody wants to see it. I had never seen mine before. That's what it is.
We hadn't all seen it.
I used to poke pockets like that when I was a mailman. Thank you very much.
All right. And we have here a card with the name. I'm going to say signature because I put a lot of people's name on it. Everybody that contributed. And a little extra cash in there to buy you some tapes. Or some X-rated movies, whatever Sybil let you get away with.
Oh, the X-rated thing in the house.
Thank you. One thing, almost forgot. Oscar said he's available to come back, as a consultant once in a while. And in case he ever does, we happen to call on him. We want him to be outfitted properly. And there's some of his things he left us and we returned to him.
Oh, no. I spelled it wrong. That's great.
Oscar has a reputation for being very quick on the draw. Here a couple of months ago, he was in the plant and he ran up on an individual. I won't name him. He asked Oscar, "How you doing, Oscar?" He says, "Better." He said, I woke up this morning feeling very ugly. He said, now that I've seen you, I feel a hell of a lot better. I think Charles wants to come up and say a word or two.
Not much. I got so many stories. I worked with Oscar so long, I got a lot of stories. Remember one, Norman Linden's not here, but Oscar hadn't missed too many days, you know. He's been here a long time. He hadn't missed too many days, but several years ago when he was working over at OT, he got vertigo. His ears were bothering him a little bit. He was out there, he kind of walking around the plant. He had to work, you know. Goddamn, I got to work. It's paying me to work. I got to work. The devil told me to stay home. Damn, I got to work. Anyway, finally, he just kind of fell over that old skid of inmates he was hanging out there. Norman Linden walked by. Norman? Man, he said, man, you better give me some help. He said, I need some. Man, go get some help. Norman back up. He said, hey, you shit. Norman, you better go get me some help. I'm not the hell out of you. I'm going to tell about that turnover. They beat me 2-0. And that other one about Ghetto, he sent me this letter today, but I'll never forget that day he came through. It had been raining like hell, and somewhere along the line we felt some 7L out on the road, and that shit was all out on the road. Joe walked in the control room. Oscar sitting there. He said, Oscar, get your hat. They got that purple shit all over the road out there. Come on. Oscar jumped up there with now that shit all the way to Narvik, Texas. Oh, they're going to get on my ass. Come on. That's too good. He come in and told us one day, he said, I was out there raking my yard. So I was standing in my shop in a big pile of leaves. Oh, something happened to my leg. I grabbed it right here and he got up right here. A big old rat like that long. Ran up his pants leg from that leaf pile and went up. He squeezed his head and he heard it holler. Oh, I got the wrong end. He fell over there. Squeezed it in there. Got the wrong end. That's not true. Sit down you jumped the room step there, and she come out there and she said, what's the matter with you? And all I could do was point to that thing. Sitting in his underwear. Now he gets buried.
Squeeze it, hurt it hard.
You can't live without this time. A couple years ago, we went fishing. We were going to go out plowing it out of Mississippi off the coast over there. We got out there and waited, fished that afternoon, and we were going to flounder that night. Man, it started raining. You talking about rain. I said, Oscar, we better go on in. It's getting pretty bad. So we started back in. I'm talking about it was bad. The wind was blowing out of the north. Man, the waves looked like they were that high. It was coming on, man, that high. They just looked that hot. Awesome. It was only that hot. We were coming in, we would get drowned. I mean, we would get drowned. We was kind of coming in slow, just kind of going over the big old waves. Coming on. I said, look, I want you to get up underneath that deck up there. Kind of get up underneath. So we kind of crawled up underneath that deck. Well, that was back when he smoked. After about 10 minutes, he needed a cigarette. He couldn't stand that forever. So he come over there and he lit him a cigarette. Just about time he got that thing lit, one of them big waves come over the bow and just drowned. Put the cigarette out there. That looked like a bad one. Man, just get back up. It's not that bad. Jackie just thought they had some mosquitoes over there where they was at. They had some big ones out there too.
The problem was, he had his ankle up there where I was at. And me and that ankle was swapping positions. I was on top of the ankle a while, I was on top
I'll tell you what, everybody's gonna miss you. You can believe that. I'm glad you made it, but we're gonna miss you. I'm gonna have to stay up on dogs.
That's the flip side. I'll call you up about 2.
Yeah. We're gonna call you.
You can't bother me. It's fun to go back to sleep.
Because they don't ever hear the phone, don't they?
Sybil, did you know all of these stories?
Yes. A lot more.
You want to get up?
Tell a couple of Tell us about the personalized gas tank.
Not about
I said this thing would take about 3 minutes. I think we're in at least an hour. But I guess now, unless Vince has a humorous story, we'll probably get into a little more serious vein here. Would you like to say something, Mr. Simon? Not till after Oscar speaks.
Last word.
Apparently, Charles has another story he would like to tell us.
There was one more that Oscar, he got his new boat, he pulled it over there, and Sybil was looking at it, you know, and she said, oh, he said, it's nice, he fixed it up just for me. She went back in, she looked at the gas tank, they had OMC on it. He said they personalized their gas tank. That's his initials, OMC. I thought he was serious. Now, this is for Oscar. You know, it amazes me every time I see this crew. How can we make Flintstone out there? How does it happen? I don't really have anything to compete with people like Charles and Jackie on these stories. They're incredible. I do, however, want to say on behalf of the production department, and I think on behalf of everybody that's here, thank you for the years of service that you gave us out of guys' room. Have a happy retirement.
I guess I would like to endorse what these people have said. I think Vince pretty well summed it up. Oscar is a good person. There's no doubt about it. He was a good employee for Uniroyal. Uniroyal was good to him. He gave us 22 years, even more than that, I guess, if you count the contract. He's a good family man. He was a hard worker. There were a few things that he was probably weak in. One of them was paperwork, but you know you have to overlook some of those things when you start evaluating a person. He had high principles. The people admired him and respected him. I don't think I've ever heard anybody that worked for him or with him say anything negative. I guess we all sort of envy him in that he's going to be free to do whatever he wants to do now. He told me that he would probably just lay around the house a while. Didn't really have any great plans to do a lot of fishing or perhaps maybe travel, but I think we'll all miss him. Like I say, he's very quick with the quip and kept us laughing all these years. So with sadness, we hate to see you go, but yet we want to wish you well and hope you have 20, 25 more years to really enjoy the things that you want to. So, Mr. Simon, you want a shot at him? If not,
After he speeches.
oh, you want Oscar to say something?
Yeah, I sure do.
Apparently Drew wants to say something, and we'll let Oscar have it.
I just have a couple little short stories to tell about Oscar under tense situations. I had been in Uniroyal but about, I don't even think it was quite a year. And we had a big freeze, and the next day there were water lines popping everywhere. We're walking through the unit, and one of the water lines busted. Luckily it was a water line. And I walk under there, and I'm holding my hand. I say, "What is this?" Oscar said, "Acid." Hit to the ground. But the biggest one was, I believe Terry came over from UBOB, and they were dropping a still or something, and it decomposed. And everybody was running around, so I run over to Oscar. I said, "Oscar, what can I do to help?" He said, "Drop on your knees and pray." And that's just how he was under tight situations. And everybody is going to miss you. Short advice.
How about it?
Let me lower my camera.
Pull the mic down over there. I got a stool back there, you can get on.
Could you lower a little more on my tiptoe?
I have nothing to say. It's all been good. It's all been great. The years have been good. I wish I had a paper that long to read off of, but I didn't have anything. You ever seen grown man cry? I'm about to do it. Let's stop.
One thing you didn't know is that I was going to be still here when you retired. You would have been more careful. I have no stories to tell because I don't think I've ever been in the presence of Dennis and Oscar when a acceptable mixed crowd story was told. I'm at a loss. We just have to say thanks, Oscar, for everything. And you too.
What was that?
I said I was the first shift worker that ever retired.
Yeah, we were talking about that today. That is right. First one.
Without being retrained.
You heard
I
that?
got one I missed.
Well, that concludes our program, and like I say, we hate to see it, but we're happy for you, Oscar. So.
I'd like to say one thing.
I give it up. Say that one thing. Come on now.
What do y'all gonna sing for me?
No. What I'd like to say is, only Italian Dago supervisor that we got out there right now, except Haywood maybe. But I want to give you all credit for finally finding a coon ass that could take a Dago's job, Mr. Ooh.